Okay, students, today we're going to be doing a lesson on punctuation and why punctuation is important. And it's going to be fun. I know you're not thinking that right now, but it will be. And you're going to need to be drawing some things, and you're going to need to watch the rest of this presentation. Okay, here's how we're going to start this lesson. A panda bear walks into a restaurant, takes a seat, looks at the menu for a minute, orders his food. At the table, he orders some food, eats it real fast. When he's done, the waiter comes, takes it away. The panda bear takes out a bow and arrow, shoots the waiter, knocks him down, and he dies. The manager comes running out and saying, "Excuse me, sir, what have you done? You just shot my waiter with your bow and arrow." The panda bear sits there very calmly and says, "You know what? I'm a panda. Look it up in the dictionary." The manager goes to the back, looks it up in the dictionary as fast as he can, and under panda it says, "Panda, a small black and white bear, native to China. Eats, shoots, and leaves." Did you get it? Did you get it? Panda eats, shoots, and leaves. As in, he eats shoots like bamboo shoots and leaves like plants. But the play on words here is that he eats, comma, he shoots, comma, and then he leaves, which is exactly what we did in this story. Okay, next question. Read this sentence. Amanda found herself in a restaurant with her boyfriend, a pediatrician, and a brain surgeon. Question is, how many people is Amanda with? Think about it. If we're looking at this closely, we have Amanda, and Amanda is with her boyfriend, a pediatrician, and a brain surgeon. So that seems like there are 3 people that she is with, right? Except, what if we punctuate it like this? Amanda is now with her boyfriend, comma, a pediatrician and a brain surgeon. What does that mean? She's now with one person who happens to be this and this. He holds 2 jobs within the hospital. Now we've changed how many people are at this table. Okay, here's the next one. It says, use commas. Don't be a psycho. Here's why. I like cooking my family and my pets. What makes you a psycho is if you like to do that, apparently. But if you say, I like cooking, comma, my family, comma, and my pets, that means you like 3 things. Not doing this to these people. So, the question is, why are we doing this? Because in a minute, you're going to be taking a sentence like this and figure out how to make it mean 2 things. So the first thing you have to do is figure out, what could it mean? And where would I put punctuation? So take a second, pause this right now, right here, and see if you can figure out 2 different things that it could mean, depending on where you could put the punctuation. Hit pause now. Did you figure it out? Here are some options. If you went like this and put a colon right here, woman. Without her, comma, man is nothing. That means, without a woman, a man isn't anything, is worthless. Is that what you want it to mean? Think about it. It could be what you want it to mean, but it depends on who you are. The other option would be to make it sound like women are nothing without men. And you would do that by putting a comma here saying woman without her man is nothing. Woman without her man is nothing, meaning all of womankind. Women are in general nothing without their men. So, if you're still confused, let's go over that one more time. The question is, do you want women to sound more powerful, or do you want them to sound like they are nothing? If that's still confusing to you, rewind for a minute and listen again. Okay guys, here's how you're going to do this. You're going to take a blank piece of paper and you're going to fold it in thirds, just like you would for a business letter or to make a brochure. Okay, so you've got 3 pieces, and then once you've got it folded in thirds, like that, you're literally going to bend it in half, long ways, from top to bottom. Okay, so that when you open it back up, you will have 6 pieces on the front and 6 pieces on the back. Of course, this one's not blank, but you will be using a blank one. Then you will number your squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can do the back up to 12 as well, even if you don't use all 12. Okay, guys. Okay, so in case you didn't understand that, you're going to have one page like this, okay? Then you're going to fold it in so that you end up with 3 like that, just like you would if you were making a brochure. Then you're going to take it and fold it in half this way so that you end up with 6. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the front and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the back, total of 12. So on your first square, you're going to put a number 1, and you're going to write the sentence that you see right now. The old lady collected all sorts of things: silver, paper, hats, clocks, and cloths. Write that down. Do not punctuate it yet. You can go ahead and hit pause right now while you write that down. You're going to be required to write this sentence with the idea that this woman collects all sorts of things, and those things that she collects are listed here. So those are all the types of things that she collects. And so I'm going to tell you that right here, you need a piece of punctuation in order to let us know that all the things that follow are types of things that she collects. So first you have to think about, what is the kind of punctuation that you will be putting in there? What kind of punctuation do you need when you write your sentence on your paper for number 1? But I am telling you that when you write this sentence with punctuation, there can only be for your sentence 4 items that she collects. So figure out where you need to put your punctuation between these words to make this list a list of 4 items, not 5. No 5, only 4. And it can be done. You just have to figure out where you put your punctuation to make that list become a list of 4 things, not 5. So that is the sentence that you will write in number 1. You will figure out what punctuation goes there, and you will figure out how to make the list a list of 4 items, correctly punctuated. Once you've got that on number 1, written and punctuated correctly, you will sketch a very small picture of the items that this woman has. So make sure you have space in box number 1 to write this sentence the way we talked about punctuating it for 4, and draw a quick sketch, do not make a big deal with art, a quick sketch of the 4 items that this woman has. And pause right here until you have done that. Okay guys, so for number 2, just like you see in pink here, it's the same exact sentence. So in box number 2, you're going to write the same sentence that you wrote, but you're not going to punctuate it yet again. Make sure you save some space at the bottom to draw it in just a minute. So for number 2, I want you to change this. I want you to make what this woman collects a list of 6. So look at all the things collected and make it a list of 6. So figure out where you're going to put punctuation and what kind of punctuation in this sentence to make it a list of 6 items, not 4 that we had before, not 5, but 6. And once you've done that, punctuated correctly, you're going to sketch the 6 groups of items that this woman has. Make sure that you don't spend a lot of time on your art, but that I can tell that what are the 6 items or whatever this woman collects. So as you can see, what we're doing right now, what we've been doing right now, is we've been taking one sentence and giving me 2 different ways to punctuate it, and it means 2 different things. And that's what we're going to continue doing. So in a minute, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of sentences, and you're going to be able to choose from those. And each one you choose, you will write one way and punctuate it and show me what it means, and then you will write it another way and punctuate it and show me that it means something different, just like we've been doing. And this is how you will do the rest of this assignment. So maybe you choose this one and you choose this one, and it means this and means this, and they're all both punctuated differently. And maybe you choose this one and write it these 2 ways. Oh, and you need another one now, so maybe you go back and you choose this one and write it. So each of the sentences that you choose will be a different set of 2 numbers on your paper. So you've had your chart that looks like this, right? And we have previously already done with one sentence. We've done number 1 and number 2, and they both been different ways. So maybe now you pick this one, and that's number 3 and 4. And then after that, maybe you pick this one and you write it one way for number 5 and one way for number 6. And then you will flip it over and do the same thing on the back. So on the back, maybe you pick this one and it becomes number 7 here, and you write how it would be punctuated and what it means, and you make it mean something else for number 8, that same sentence. Write it, punctuate it, draw it again. Then you choose number, let's see, this one maybe, and that becomes number 9. You write it one way, punctuate it, draw it. Number 10, that same sentence, you write it a different way with different punctuation, but the same words. Write it, punctuate it, draw it. And it looks to me like we're going to have to pick another one off of our big list here, which you'll see in a second, and make 2 more, and that'll be number 11 there, and number 12 there. So you should have a total of 12, 6 on the front, 6 on the back, and we already did number 1 and 2. For number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3 through 12, you'll be able to pick from the list that you'll see in just a second. Okay, here are all of the options, the 8 options you have to choose from to fill in the rest of your paper. Remember, when you're doing this, that you can have punctuation that is a period, punctuation that is a comma, punctuation, let's make that a little bit better there, a comma. Let's do quotation marks. We could have quotation marks. We could also have hyphens or dashes. We could also have exclamation points, question marks. There's a lot of punctuation that you could do in here that would change meanings around. So don't forget that you can use a wide variety of punctuation in order to do that. Very often you will probably use a lot of commas, and that's okay, but you don't have to just choose that. There are things that you can choose. You might also know that I have not capitalized the beginnings of these sentences or some letters in it, and you need to do that. And you will also see that none of them have end punctuation. So you need to put the punctuation in, capitalize it, and make it look like a sentence that's a final draft of something. And that will show me that you are ready for me to read that and that you are ready for me to look at the meaning of how that is. Without that, I'm going to think it's undone or unfinished. So I want you to make it perfect when you write it, and choose the way that you will punctuate it twice. So just like the last slide, you'll be able to do that for each one of these for 2 things. So if you chose this one, you would write it on 2 different parts of your paper. Tell me one thing that it could mean by one way you would punctuate it. Tell me another thing it could mean by another way you would punctuate it. And make sure you save space and draw the pictures. But you can do that for any of these 8 that you see on here. However you would like to choose, whatever you would like to choose. And don't forget that each of your pictures should show the meaning of the way you punctuated it for that sentence, or the way you wrote it for that sentence. So I should see a correctly punctuated sentence with a capitalization, but I should see a picture that shows the meaning of that as well.